Is this working? Cool. How you doing? You all right? Cool. So we're going to try and keep this quick as possible so we can get on to lunch and the beers. But yeah, so thanks for having us. Thanks for having us this awesome, incredible festival. I keep calling it a festival, even though it's a tech conference. But yeah, it's amazing. Last night was awesome. I'm just going to chat to you a little bit about what we do as a company, and then try and shoehorn in some scale and craft stuff so it makes sense and is hopefully useful. So basically, struggling with technology right here. There we go. So yeah, I'm Sam. This is Tom and Dave, and there's a few of our other guys there. And we're from Brew. So what is Brew? It is a beer company that makes beer with musicians and bands. And these are our sort of mission statements, which are original beers. Everything is completely unique with internationally renowned musicians and bands. And we really stress involvement over endorsement. So all of our artists, they're not endorsing the product, they're actually involved in the creation of it. So I'll just tell you a little story. I'll try and keep it sweet, just to kind of explain how we arrived at this company. I used to be in a band for many years, and we'd go around the country, we'd go around the UK, around Europe, playing all kind of shitty venues called the Toilet Circuit. That's what it's probably known as. And we played a venue in Hull. I don't know if any of you have ever been to Hull. But for those of you guys who aren't from the UK, Hull's not very famous for anything. It's pretty shit. So sorry if there's anybody from Hull in, but it's kind of shitty. And we played this amazing venue that loads of bands have played on their way up. And instead of our usual case of horrible, warm, canned lager, we got given like a box of amazing local real ales and a box of amazing Indian food. And it just stuck with me. And like after that, I was a tour manager and later went on to work in digital marketing in the music industry. And it always stuck with me, this amazing, beer that we've been given. Like, on the road with other bands, you'd be getting champagne and shit and hotels and everything would be getting better. But the beer would always be shit. Always. The venue would be selling horrible beer and the bands would be given horrible beer. And that just sort of stuck with me. And I ended up working for David at a digital marketing company called Goodlism Media, and we had like a bunch of cool clients, and I could do a load of name dropping here, but I won't. And we were really focusing on direct-to-fan marketing, which is basically the way that it was a growing area of marketing due to the rise of social media and the internet was enabling artists to sell directly to their fans. And we sort of had the thing about the beer, and I was like, we're doing this, allowing bands to create their own products, sell them direct to fan, keeping all the data back to allow the bands to have a real strong communication with their fans. And I just thought, well, why don't we just get bands to make some beer with us? I called Dave, as I often would when I had an idea. He'd often tell me they were stupid, and this time he went, actually, that's not a bad idea. So I called Tom, who's my cousin, from a brewing background, from a brewing family, and we all sat down, had a beer, and yeah, that was it. We were away. Got our first band involved, the Rifles, who are a indie band from London, and we created their first beer, and that was back in 2011. And yeah, we're here now. We've created, write down some stuff. So yeah, we've created 6 different beers with different bands. We can talk to them about them in a little bit. We created a beer with a music magazine as well called Q Magazine for their award show. We've sold beer in most of the major cities in the UK. We've got growing accounts in London and some other ones dotted around, and we've shipped beer all across Europe from our online store. So that's kind of our achievements and where we're at today. So I'll hand it over to Tom now, who's going to take you through how we do it, our processes, and that kind of thing. So
yeah, cheers. Is this on? Cool.
There's loads of changeovers. Yeah. Save up the clap to the end, the big clap.
I'm going to talk you through how we go from idea to beer, our process and how it works. There are 2 key differences on how we're different from the archetypal craft brewery you see around London and the UK at the moment. 1, we don't have a brewery, small problem, and 2, we've got bands involved. Not having a brewery isn't as big a problem as you'd think. We are what some people call gypsy brewers, a term that was popularised by Danish brewers McGregor, which basically means we use several different breweries who we work very closely with, go and brew the beer there, ferment it there, and then sell it wherever we want. McGregor have done brilliantly with it. They've brewed all over Europe, brought out 600 beers or something like that now, and have an incredible reputation for it. It's big in America as well, with brewery like Stillwater. And it works for us, and on the basis of this conference, it's very scalable as well. So if we have a big band, we go to a bigger brewery we use in the Midlands, brew 30 barrels. But if we work with a small band, we do small beer, a bit more out there, a bit more concept, but it's still achievable. The bands come involved, and it's quite important for us because they get us to sell the beer in venues and gigs and places like that where music fans can enjoy good beer. The band starts with a big tasting session. We try 25 different beers, covering every different possible genre of beer. I talk them through all the different beers you can imagine. We talk about character, we talk about mouthfeel, we talk about hop character, and by the end we have a short list of five so beers that they loved. And from those 5 beers, we create a recipe profile that we can make their beer that they've chosen. They want. They either make this beer for themselves, or more often than not, they choose a beer that they think their fans will like, which is really important. So we go away and make this beer at one of the breweries we work with. In the meantime, the band work with our design department to make a label and a product that is not only amazing looking, but reflective of themselves as artists. And finally, after all that is done, we put together this amazing product, great beer, great looking label, and an amazing product that the fans can enjoy. So yeah, as Sam said, so far 7 beers in, we've worked with 6 different brands in the magazine, 6 beers that cover every different genre imaginable. We're trying to expand into other darker beers and things like that. But yeah, we have a session pale ale, golden ale with US rockers to hold steady. Professor Green made an American style pale ale. Dry the River made a super hoppy 7% double IPA. Frank Turner made a modern style wheat beer, and finally in December we released our first lager with Enter Shikari. I'll talk some more about beers right at the end. I'm going to hand over to Dave right now.
I've got one. Cool, so this is all very good. Sam for once didn't have a rubbish idea. So we went ahead and we made all this beer with the first band. It was fantastic, it was great, we've got the artists, we had a label, all this stuff going on. But what we hadn't thought of was how we were actually going to sell it. We kind of got really ahead of ourselves. We're making this cool product. We love bands. We love music. But we need to find out how we're going to turn this product into something that could sell in an extremely competitive market. So what we had to do is identify the strengths of the product, what we were going to be able to sell the product in on that wasn't just price. The way that we create beers and the volumes that we do them in, they're very expensive compared to standard lagers to create. If we had to look at other ways that we could leverage our artist involvement in order to give us a competitive edge. The way we did this, the strengths of the product are obviously the quality. We make the best beer possible. But for live venues and for pubs and bars, what we can do is draw footfall. We can put people into bars where they wouldn't usually go. So we found a way there. We get all of our artists. When they're on tour, we either sell into the venue that they're playing in, but quite often that's difficult because the major breweries have tied up all the beer that can be sold there. So what we'll do is do pre- and post-show drinking at a pub nearby the venue. And what we can offer there is obviously we're going to drive everyone before the gig to go and try the artist beer and then go back there afterwards. And it's examples of our artists tweeting, Professor Green, Dry the River, just telling people where in that town to go and drink. And that gave us a big competitive advantage in starting to get sales. So the second way that our second route to market, right? yeah, is direct to fan. So everything we do as a company in our tasting sessions, it has to be that the artist is creating this themselves. They are involved. So all the tasting session that Tom was talking about, that's professionally filmed. Obviously, we edit out towards the end when everyone gets a little bit drunk and a little bit silly. But most of it's kept in. Because what we want people to realise, as Sam said at the start, it's about involvement rather than endorsement. This is their beer. This is the artist coming to us and making what they would really like to see in a beer. So as a result, the artists are really involved. We had one quite scary moment when Professor Green took it upon himself to go on national television one Sunday morning and tell the whole country about his beer and how great it was and the website and everything. We'd all been out the night before. We got up, woke up about 10:30 in the morning with all these texts saying, "You're on TV."
Yeah, this definitely happened.
Yeah. So once the artists are involved, they really want to push it, and they'll do the marketing for us. And they'll tell, if you want to slip to the next slide, they'll tell their fans about it. And that's how we get our reach. We haven't spent any money on advertising. We started the company without any money at all and bought the first run of beer on credit. So we really rely on our partners that we make the beer with to market it for us. But what that leads to is one big challenge that in the last few months we've had to start to overcome. It's something that's always in the plan. It was how we're going to create Signature Brew off the back of this. We've got these products with Enter Shikari, we've got 1 million Facebook fans, etc. But how are we going to build Signature Brew as a whole itself? Let's get through. So the way we've been doing this, label design. Every label, every bottle has the neck label with Signature Brew on it, trying to build that brand identity. We've started now to own our own social media. And what I mean by that is when the artist tweets about the beer, they may do it 4 or 5 times in the lifetime of the beer. What we're asking them to do is we've set up Enter Shikari Beer on Twitter, Professor Green Beer on Twitter, so that they can tell their fans to go there to find all the updates about the beer. So then we have ownership, that's Twitter accounts that we run, we have ownership, and we can use that to talk about the product and also to cross-promote. Customer service is really important. We do it all ourselves. At the end of last year, we took a few people out that missed shipments, took them out for a beer and made sure they were happy. And finally, live nights. We put on our own gigs with artists playing where all our beers are available. So that's kind of how we marketed everything.
So, Tom's now going to talk about the beers.
Yeah. Originally, we had planned to do a tasting session for you all, but we're told that logistically it was a bit silly to try and do 3 beers in 5 minutes for 200 people. So, instead, I'm going to do a tasting session for myself. And I'll let you watch. We'll just talk through 3 of the beers. This is Professor Green's Remedy, American-style pale ale, but instead he wanted all British ingredients. So the big hops in this one are Northdown hops, which give it a big fruity flavour. It's a crisp refreshness, and we have Challenger hops for an aroma that he really wanted in there. I'll let you guess what that aroma is. Needed that. I thought you were going to help me. I had planned to have a waitress, but clearly I'm doing it myself. Don't need that. Next up, we have Frank Turner's wheat beer, which is a modern take on the traditional style wheat beer. We brewed it clear rather than cloudy to make it more accessible for music fans, and something our artists really want to do is really make beers that not only are interesting, but someone who can come off the street to a gig who doesn't usually drink craft beer can pick it up and go, yeah, I like that. I want to drink more craft beer, whether it's ours or not. So this wheat beer has got big orange notes, citrus notes, coriander notes. Don't worry, you will be able to try these next door in a second. This is Frank Turner's wheat beer.
God, you're making me really thirsty. Would you stop doing that?
I'm going to drink them all.
You're being nasty to my people.
I contemplated downing them, but I thought I'd just take 2 weeks' time. And finally, we have Mammoth by Dry the River, our big 7% double IPA. Big hop flavours, 4 different hops in this one. Big fruit flavours, lychee, mango, things like that. 100 IBUs, which are international business units, but balanced quite well with a decent malt character as well.
Oh, questions? Yeah. Well, there's some research that suggests that kind of when you listen to music, it affects the way you can taste things. But we didn't really want to go down that road because it's almost too conceptual, even though it is like science and stuff. But
there's nothing too conceptual at Monkigras.
But yeah, I think that I've drank all the beers whilst watching the bands, and I think they all kind of match, So yes.
That pretty much concludes my own tasting session. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll be next.
So yeah. So basically, I just want to sort of wrap it up and kind of take away a few lessons that we've learned over the last year. It's been crazy. Just some of the things that we've learned that perhaps you can take away and maybe be useful for whatever you're doing. Let ideas develop is one of the main things. So we had this idea, and how I thought of it over a year ago is completely different to what it is now. And even the small things have changed the way that we do things. So just let all them ideas develop. Look for new ways to scale whatever it is you're doing. So we work with different people, and that allows us to scale using their sort of things, their reach. Collaboration. So obviously it's been mentioned before. That can kind of be greater than the sum of the parts. And that's what we found. Don't be 100% motivated by money. So I guess that's obvious to say that, but even the small decisions. So when we chose our accountant, he likes metal, he likes beer. It's awesome. Like, our lawyer's amazing. We go and drink with them, and they understand what we're doing. It's not, it's not 100% money motivated. And yeah, finally, just be inspired. So the brewing industry is full of people who are super passionate. It's exactly the same as the music industry in that sense, that people are really passionate about what they're doing. And just, yeah, we were asked to write a tweet about kind of what it is that we wanted to say, and yeah, that's basically it. It's great music, deserves great beer. Let's end the days of these, yellow, horrible, mass-produced lagers that are in factories. Obviously, I've gone over the 140 characters now. I'm not reading it out.
Can we just say amen now?
Oh, yes, I'm preaching. Yeah, anyway, so yeah, cheers. Our beers are available next door. If you want to ask us any questions, check us out on the internet. And yeah, thank you.